Alright, the folks here, boy. Mark's on 205 numbers after the name. A little Call of Duty Modern Warfare Warzone. Y'all already know how we do, man. The hottest game for those in quarantine right now. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, yo. They really picked a good week to like release this game, yo. They were like, yo, Tuesday we dropping Warzone. Thursday, the whole world like is panicking over like Corona, and you gotta stay home and be quarantined. So you're just gonna be playing Warzone. I mean, really a genius idea. And Nintendo missed it by a week, man. They should have dropped Animal Crossing last Friday, man. That's what they needed it, yo. Everybody would have been over there with their like farm animals and stuff like that, man. I'm actually put my teeth into, or sinking my teeth into heavily into Ori and the Will of the Wisp, man. It is by far one of the most beautiful things I've ever put on my television screen. It is, whoa! It's emotional. It plays good. It doesn't run as smooth as it should, in all fairness. There's a little bit of hiccups to it, which I'm definitely going to have to knock a little bit, but everything else is A+. Anyway, y'all came here to talk about Warzone right here, a little tight Tuesday action. Let's get a couple positives out of it. I don't know which way to start. Let's go with the positives first. Positives. Seems to run pretty smooth. I don't seem to run into too many hiccups. There's been a handful of times where I feel like I kind of shoot people and there's like a little bit of delay, but it's very, very minimal that I've run into. So anytime you get to launch a game like this of this magnitude and it runs smooth, to me, you gotta applaud that. Like that deserves mad respect. I think it looks good. It kind of is just in that Modern Warfare tone, which isn't necessarily my favorite. Like, I definitely prefer the Blackout style more. But it looks good, and it plays well, and there's enough variety within the map that it's still like a little bit of life to it. There's some snow, there's some hills, there's some little deserty kind of ish area. It's just not as like standout-ish as Blackout, for example, like in terms of just color scheme and everything like that. But it works. Some other things. And I'm gonna put this one as a good and a bad. I like the Gulag a little bit, or Gulag a little bit. But ultimately, if you made me pick, I'd probably say get rid of it. You know, the one thing about Battle Royale games that I really liked is the finality of it. Is like that your life matters, period. And when you're dead, you are dead. And this game breaks that by 1,000-fold. One with the Gulag system where you get a chance to kind of redeploy and whatnot. And ultimately, I'm kind of cool with it because if you do get like a cheap death, something at the beginning where you don't find the go, whatever, maybe you could get back in the game and land somewhere else or somewhere near and then start it kind of again. Ultimately, I'm kind of alright with that. But where it gets a little bit dicey is when you're a little bit further into the game and then like you kill somebody and then they come back and maybe they're like friends like bring some to them and then they pop you and you're like I don't know, and you're like on the part where you can't like respawn back in. The other part is that you could get kind of bought back in where people go to these pay stations and buy stuff. I think that all needs to be tweaked a little bit. You know, I think getting your own loadout, for example, at those pay stations, it probably needs to be a little more expensive. It's a little unfair to just have like 6 Gs or whatever it is, 6.5 Gs, and then just buy your own like class setup. And I don't know. I applaud them for the creativity and for the mix of Call of Duty with a Battle Royale game. I just wish it was a little more Battle Royale and less Call of Duty, I guess is what I'm getting at. And after playing Blackout for so long, kind of, to me, that was the perfect marriage of what I wanted in those two games. Now I got something else here that's adding and removing stuff that I'm kind of like, I don't like. Like, I never felt the need that I wanted my own class in, like, this game. And even more unfair that, like, some people, like, buy it and then they have no class. And other people, we just don't because we just didn't run into, like, good stuff at the beginning. Maybe we didn't get into a fight yet or something like that. So, ultimately, to me, the Gulag is good. But everything else about it is a little bit like dicey for me as to how we go there. And the game runs smooth. I feel like I said, it looks good. It's playable. The crossplay stuff is pretty cool about it. That you can play people on PlayStation now and PC as well. So those are all kind of pluses over there for Modern Warfare. Where I have some negatives. A lot of the buildings and a lot of things looked exactly the same. I've been inside like multiple buildings that kind of just look the same. Everything was like very bland. It's almost like a blander version of PUBG in a lot of aspects, which is not the best. Very, very minor complaint is I don't like the driving. I don't know. I was pretty cool with how we drove in Blackout. I don't know why we have to drive differently in this, but whatever. I think I mentioned that in like a multiplayer video a while ago when I drove one of these things. I was like, what the hell? I definitely, the big no-no for me is that there's no solo playlist. I like to play solo a lot. I we have different schedules now with this whole like coronavirus thing. We really have different schedules and stuff. So sometimes I want to just pop in and play solo. As you can notice here, although I'm with 3 people, I've kind of played solo. I landed by myself. I was tired of landing next to people and just dying because they were inept. And so here I landed by myself, and eventually I go find these guys. We go join as a team, and we make it pretty close. Make it pretty close to the end. I was kind of impressed, actually. But yeah, they're having to play with 3 people thing. Hopefully they had a solo playlist, but there's a lot of stuff here that really doesn't apply necessarily to like solo players. So I think if they were to add a solo playlist, they're gonna have to change like some stuff out of the game. Like they're just gonna have to like adapt some stuff. Like it just doesn't make that much sense. The kill streaks, ultimately, I'm not in favor of them. I haven't had it happen yet, but I don't want to be the guy who gets dropped an airstrike at the final circle and dies. That's not something I'm into. I don't even know why I don't know. Kill streaks was just not something I feel like I need in this game. The UAV is kind of alright, but it's a little bit OP too. Like I don't know. It's a little bit too much. I was cool with the sensor dart. That to me seemed pretty like fair and pretty like powerful. The UAV seems a little bit too much. A lot of that stuff that you can just buy at that pay station is a little bit too much. Like the self-revive, like you gotta knock somebody down, then he pops them up and pops back up. Like what are we talking about here? The heartbeat sensor, that one's alright, but that one's like almost like an unlimited like sensor dot. Like a little bit too much. There's a little bit of stuff here that's a little bit too OP, which is why like I can't even imagine that in a single player game how that will like work, let alone like here with like 3 people. It just, I don't know. But the loadout stuff is getting me a little bit too. I haven't played with other people. The map maybe is too big. Might be too big. Like, we just cover, like, large expanses of territory often and find nothing happening because there's just nobody around for an extended period of time. Eventually, obviously, you get condensed and you go looking for shots and stuff like that. But I don't know. Snipers are really strong. I don't know if that's necessarily a negative, but like the one headshot kill, death, boom, ba-beam, might be a little too much, but I'm alright with it. That part I'm kind of good with rewarding people for headies over there and giving them the power they want. Another big negative for me is the loot. It's weak. Like it's weak, man. Like I feel like I've run into the same guns every single time. I feel like I have an MP7 pretty much every single game and a shotgun. And then I'll pick up a SCAR, and then I'll be pissed about how much it sucks. I don't like that you can't add different like attachments to your gun. Like it is what it is. Like in that sense, it seems a little bit too simplified for me. And you get your own loadout, you make your own loadout, you pick it up. That part I get the purpose of that. But I would also like in game have the ability to pick up an MP7 and kit it however I wanted to, and kind of keep it moving that way. It's kind of like in every like I don't know if in every, but it's at least in PUBG and like in Blackout, that's kind of how you like play. That you add like stuff on there, and I kind of like that because what'll happen too sometimes is I'll find like a very rare gun in one of these chests or whatever, but it has like a stupid scope, and I'm like, well, what the hell is this? And I can't get rid of the scope, and I'm like, all right, well, I'm just stuck with this dumb scope on this gun. Like I'll get an MP7, and it's like, yo, we got a 3X on it, and you're like, dude, I don't know what the hell you're talking about. And the other thing too is having stuff tied into your loadout, which I think is cool for people that have been playing Modern Warfare a lot. Isn't that cool for people who haven't been playing Modern Warfare a lot? So I have it. Like I kind of played it for a bit, and I was like, all right, well, the spawns suck. I'm out. Like that was pretty much like my main like concern about it. I was like, the spawns got to blow in all these maps. I don't really want to put that much work into this. I went back to playing Blackout. And I don't have all these guns leveled up to the 1000th degree, which is fine. You can level those up. I'm not really tripping necessarily over that. I'm more tripping over the fact that I just don't like have like the loadouts necessarily like I don't know how to express this, not to necessarily compete. But I just don't have like the loadouts on deck or the understanding of some of these weapons, especially like the ammo conversions. When like people would tell me, it's like, yo man, gotta equip the AR with the 5.56 and the 7.72 and the 4.48s, man. You know, Yo, you put the 4.48 with the underbarrel, attachment. I'm like, oh man. I was like, I forgot about how many ridiculous attachments are in this game. Just a little bit too much, man. So I feel there's some casual play involved here in the areas that I don't really like. So there's a casual play involved in the picking up guns area attachments, which I think everybody was pretty cool with. I don't remember anyone in Blackout being like, man, don't really understand how this whole thing works where you pick up a gun and then you put fast mags on it. I never heard anyone complain about that, but they fixed that. But instead it's like, yo, like make sure you spend like mad time, you create a class and try different things, because like you completely change your gun left and right. We're just gonna give you lukewarm explanations of how to do it, and that's kind of where I feel the game's at. So overall, if I had a guy to give it a grade, I give it a 7 out of 10. I think it's a pretty damn strong start for where it is. I can't compare it yet to Blackout. Blackout to me is still just a superior experience all around. The regenerating health part too, by the way, don't like it. Don't like it. The fact that you can kind of just duck down and do like you do in a regular multiplayer game and kind of save your ass over there for a bit, not a fan. I understand, once again, it makes it simpler, but not a fan. And it's also just weird to kind of keep track of like my health while I'm doing all that. Like it's over there on the side, like white little bar. I'd much rather have a number that I kind of see. I can see it like coming down. I'm like, oh man, I was like 150 and now I'm like 78. I got hit. Not like, oh, my bar is full and now I think it's like 2/3 full. Oh, I'm dead. Oh, okay. Like that's kind of like every time it goes. And same thing with the armor too. I feel like I bust people's armor left and right all the time. I don't know how strong or not strong the armor is. I don't know. But once again, it's a matter of getting used to it. It's a matter of playing a little more. I haven't really delved into too much. I've probably got like 3 or 4 hours into it. So these are very early on impressions over here. I'll leave you here with the rest of the footage, man, because I put in a little bit of work.
Your teammate's done in. They're returning to base.
Shit, I'm hit!
They're returning to base. Victory rests on your shoulders.
All right.
God damn it!
Gas is closing. Get to the new safe zone.
Hey, this vendor's got gear if you need it.
Gas is inbound.
We're inside the zone, but get ready for incoming.
Enemies in the area. Bounty target identified. Slot the bastard. Enemies in the area. Gas is closing in. Relocating the safe zone. Bounty target is down. Well done.
We need eyes. Send that recon.
UAV entering the AO. Be advised, UAV is bingo fuel. RTB for resupply.
Gas is inbound.
Can't stay here. Get to the safe zone.
AWP-Driver.
We need eyes. Send that recon.
UAV entering the AO. Be advised, UAV is bingo fuel. RTB for resupply.
Final deployment is fueling up now. Get this done. Sharpish. Gas is moving in. New safe zone located. Friendly loadout drop on the way. Gas is moving. "25 are left. Stay sharp out there. Gas is moving in. New safe zone located.
Hostile down.
Enemies in the area. inbound.
Contact! Enemies in the area!
Back out!
Gas is inbound. Marking new safe zone.
Medic!
Throwing grenade!
Come back here!
You've got gas moving in.
Can't stay here. Get to the safe zone. Throwing grenade!
Victory rests on your shoulders. Finish the mission.